factions are back. For a long old while, WWE especially just forgot that wrestling groups rule, and it sucked. It's like being in school. To get through it, you need to have a bunch of individuals around you, otherwise you're toast. They are popular again today, which means sometimes some bizarre people get thrown into the mix for something to do, and can you believe it, it works. That is the beauty of sports entertainment. So who are these heroes that figured it out? Well, I am Simon Miller. Let's go through the 10 most unlikely members that totally made it work. Number 10, Akira Tozawa in the Alpha Academy. When Tozawa was added to the then Chad Gable-led Alpha Academy in October 2023, there was a worry. We'd seen WWE do this kind of thing before, and it was not good. Back in the old era, it would have spelled the end despite his talent, when nope, Tozawa went and figured it out. Even though his role wasn't big, he would make these facial expressions that made you laugh, and in the ring, he was Mr. Sympathy. Because WWE saw him as the lowest on the totem pole, he got his ass kicked, but hey, just meant you started to care for the guy. That's the secret sauce. It was also subtle, but go look at Tozawa when Chad finally went off the rails. He looked so sad. Again, nothing major, and Tozawa's wrestling talent deserves more, but in terms of making lemons out of lemonade, this is the way. Given the Alpha Academy is still together and super baby faces, I still hope we give Tozawa more at some point. Remember when he and Otis went down to NXT and he was allowed to sort of be the guy? The dude is great. Let's do less of that dancing though. We don't need that. Number 5, Brandon Cutler in the Elite. Aside from being underrated in his own right and always game for a laugh, Brandon Cutler has been the glue keeping the Young Bucks together. Face, heel, didn't matter. Brandon would be there and gave them a reason why their backstage skits were being filmed. He was the cameraman. He was also loyal even when Matthew and Nicholas Jackson used him as a verbal punching bag. And while this is a simple role, let's use those 2 words again. It works. Not only is it helpful for storylines, but do you remember when the Bucks bailed from AEW when it was Cutler who got the ass whooping? Small things like that go a long way. Given that you could also describe Brandon as a comedy figure, which I say is a huge compliment, the fact he has helped guide Matt and Nick's story as and when necessary is all that you need. Goes to show you can't judge too quickly. We really do never know. Number 8, Jim Duggan in Team Canada. So this is a WCW stable from the year 2000s, which does mean a lot of it was stupid. That was just WCW. One of the highlights, even when the promotion went crazy, was Lance Storm, because man, did he just get it. For example, as a proud Canadian, when he won the US title, he changed the name to the Canadian Heavyweight Championship. I've said it once, I'll say it twice, it's the little things. He then started to say some of his American friends were also from up north, including Elix Skipper, and of all people, Jim Duggan. Now this was huge, because of course Duggan was the all-American guy, including shouting USA all the time. Don't worry though, he just took all this and applied it to Canada, right down to wearing the legendary maple leaf. On paper that may sound awful, but it's all about commitment, and Duggan got it. He just gave 100% and it really clicked. Plus, older fans couldn't believe it, how dare he? The fact that Storm was also having banger matches too meant Team Canada was such a good group, and it really should have gone on way longer than it did. Sadly, World Championship Wrestling was dead soon after this. Oh, what could have been? Number 7, Mother Wayne and the Patriarchy. Let us do a recent one for fun. When Nick Wayne's mum joined Christian Cage's Patriarchy, it felt a little bit weird. I mean, at one point it felt like she was worried that her son was being indoctrinated when bam! It all switched and she decided to join rather than fight, and surely this was a bad idea. Actually, it was a really good one. It all comes down to the fact that Shayna Wayne loves her boy, right down to cheating in order to help Nick or Christian win matches. Do you remember when she screwed over Adam Copeland back in December 2023? Which is also when she became the mother of the group. It was just fun and again, easy to explain. Whatever I gotta do for my family. From there, she fit in like a glove, and to be honest, the whole team is good. There's still loads more we can do with them too, and when they do split up, seeing the Waynes fight back against Cage should be excellent. Sometimes that's all you need. Number 6, Billy Gunn and the Acclaimed. I mean, imagine I told you this when AEW first started. Billy Gunn will turn his back on his own sons to join 2 randomly teamed together guys, and they will get overing by scissoring each other and being super duper popular. People would have melted down, and rightfully so. This is why wrestling is the best, because All Elite Wrestling did do this, and man, it was great. I think the total bizarreness of it helped. It also was assisted by the fact Gunn started calling himself Daddy Ass, which just told you he was there to help out and have fun. Fans pick up on that stuff because it sort of underlined Billy was intent on helping, and he did. A lot. There was a time where these 3 were the most over group in the company. As I do speak to you, Max Caster and Anthony Bowens are slowly falling out, so we need to see where Gunn fits in here, but you can also double back round. If Billy does rejoin his boys, that will be a nice moment too. All of this has been very well done. Number 5, Rick Rude in D-Generation X. Rick Rude didn't last long in DX, but it was really weird. You had Triple H, Chyna, and Shawn Michaels bringing in the Attitude Era, as Rude stood in the background as the most serious man ever. This clicked, however, thanks to the oldest trick in the book. While the rest of the group goofed around, he was the straight man, which made the silliness even better, and it made Rick better too. It was a wonderful back and forth. He was also the insurance policy which allowed D-Generation X to win matches they shouldn't have. And even though he left super duper early due to his disgust at the Montreal screw job, he really did assist here. It's a little bit of a shame he's sort of been forgotten to time. I mean, let's keep it simple. Look at this picture. That's right, look at it. That is a faction, dude. I mean, you can feel it. Number 4, Rikishi and Too Cool. I mean, where the hell did this even come from? You had Rikishi, who for a while was popular due to the fact he stuck his ass in other people's faces, and then Too Cool had literally been told their gimmick was to be the Hardy Boys, but massive nerds. Great. As always though, because these three embraced their roles, it totally clicked, and when they were put together, well, it was something else entirely. It all clicked in 1999, and I think the magic was by themselves they weren't doing much, but seeing three polar opposites dance in the ring was just a fun pop for the audience. I mean, they flippin' did it halfway through the Royal Rumble. Rikishi was always good at turning on during matches too, and don't forget Scotty 2 Hotty had the worm. Together they were just a cheer machine. If you need any proof, just go and watch any show from WWF in the year 2000. Anytime they come out, they get massive cheers. So dare I say it, this was a little bit of a phenomenon. Number 3, Carlito and the Judgment Day. The Judgment Day as a whole could be a subject of their own video because what a ride. The amount of variations has been crazy. Edge was the leader for a minute and then he was ousted as Finn Balor, Rhea Ripley and Damian Priest took over. JD McDonough and Dominic Mysterio then made up the numbers and they were great too. Everybody benefited. R-Truth also popped in, as did Liv Morgan and Raquel Rodriguez, making it seem like enough people had come through the door. But no, because halfway through, Carlito also joined after he turned his back on the LWO. And what was his purpose? Essentially to be the comic relief. He could also be the dude to get beaten up in matches. Because Mr. Caribbean Cool understood what he was meant to do and just lent into it, it worked. He's been a really good addition to the group. When they finally split as well, I'm sure he will go somewhere else where he's surrounded, and that is good too. The swerve on Rey Mysterio felt like an easy surprise at first, but ever since WWE has justified it, this was a good shout all around. Number 2, Jamie Noble and Joey Mercury in The Authority. The Authority was mostly 3 names: Triple H, Stephanie McMahon, Seth Rollins. After that, you may choose Kane or Randy Orton, but few ever get to Jamie Noble and Joey Mercury. We really should. Seth would be the outlier to that because he talks about them all the time because he knows. Without Noble and Mercury, his first major heel run may not have been as successful, mostly because they were the dudes that could always be in the firing line. Cannon fodder, if you will. It was a success. A huge reason for that is because Joey and Jamie bumped their ass off, and it gave 2 cronies for Seth to yell at. That was important because he was essentially under the thumb of Triple H and Stephanie. He needed to be seen to take that out elsewhere. When they needed, they could help Rollins retain his then WWE Championship by cheating too. I don't know who made this call, but they were totally right. Plus, they all look great in the ring, a proper threat, and one that must be defeated. Number 1, Sami Zayn in the Bloodline. You know that even WWE felt this way because when Sami Zayn first started to hang out with the Bloodline, it was meant to be a few weeks max. Once again, it was just something fun to do. Within that month, though, everybody realized there was something here, including Paul Heyman. He's integral to all Bloodline stories, and it certainly sounds like he went out of his way to suggest that Sami's addition must continue. Boy, was he right. Before long, Zayn was one of the most over wrestlers on the roster because he was so good alongside Roman Reigns and the Usos. As they tried to be all serious, he would just be the happiest man ever. The fans rightfully loved it. You also got segments where Sam just broke the entire group in the ring, and I tell ya, that sort of reality is gold in all forms of entertainment. It humanized these guys, which meant when we did get the split, sheesh, so good, and some of the best angles of modern times. It hit such highs that come the Elimination Chamber pay-per-view, the audience wanted Zayn to defeat Roman for the world title. Now that's one thing, but at the Elimination Chamber, which was often seen as a B show, that is different levels, man. And this was fantastic wrestling. It will be a while before lightning strikes as brilliantly as this. Do you know of any other people that surprised in factions? Then make sure you drop us a comment below and bam! If you look on the screen right now, there's another video by me, Simon the Bald Idiot Miller. Click it. You can also like the video, share the video and subscribe, but otherwise, my friends, make sure you have a terrific day. I'll talk to you again soon.